Hey guys, it's Maddie from Let's Eat Plants, and today we are baking a chocolate cake to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. This video probably should have been filmed last month when I hit 1,000 subscribers, but nevertheless, here it is today. I'm very excited. I have been wanting to bake a chocolate cake with you guys for a long time, and this seems like the perfect opportunity. I want to thank you all so much for 1,000 subscribers. This is very exciting for me, and therefore we need to celebrate with some cake. So today's recipe is from Tasty, and I have had some success with their baking recipes before, so I'm pretty hopeful that this one will turn out well. There are a lot of rave reviews for this recipe, although not so much for the chocolate frosting that goes along with it. So we're swapping out the chocolate frosting for a different one and just following the cake recipe because that's the one that people say is really, really good. So I have never made this cake before. I hope it turns out well because, you know, I am still kind of a novice baker. So fingers crossed, prayers to the cake gods. And with that, let's start this cake. Now I am gonna cut this recipe in half because it is just me and my husband eating this chocolate cake, and I think it's gonna be a lot, even with the recipe cut in half. But I will leave the full recipe in the description box down below for those of you who are interested. First thing I've noticed right off the bat is that this recipe calls for whole wheat flour, which I never would have used to bake a cake, and all of my instincts are telling me to use all-purpose flour, but I'm gonna follow the recipe and use whole wheat even though I'm like, whoa, whole wheat? Really, guys? Coconut oil. I am going to use the refined coconut oil. I don't know if you guys know this, but the refined coconut oil has no coconut flavor. So if you're looking for a coconut oil without the coconut flavor, definitely get the refined oil and you won't have any coconut taste at all. It's just like a plain neutral oil. And this is what happens when you run out of maple syrup halfway through the recipe. I'm gonna sub some of this brown sugar, it's actually like a golden brown sugar, for the rest of the maple syrup and cross my fingers that that substitution will work out. I could probably do without the extra 100 grams of maple syrup, but I don't think it'll be sweet enough. So I'm just gonna sub for this and hopefully that'll be fine. Okay, now the recipe says to add the wet into the dry in 2 batches. I guess that just means half of the wet first, and then mix a little bit, and then the other half. I'm noticing now that my milk was really cold, and so my coconut oil is starting to harden and clump into this wet mixture, which does not look good, my friends. But I think it's gonna be okay. How could I have prevented this? Did I need to heat the milk up? I just don't know. I mean, I don't want to say that I feel that this is not going well, but these clumps don't look good to me. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Those coconut oil pockets are just gonna melt into the cake very nicely, right? Okay, so now we just divide this into 3 pans if you're following the full recipe. Since I cut mine in half, we only need 2 pans, I believe. And these pans are pretty non-stick already, but I'm just gonna rub a little bit of vegan butter on there just in case. I do not want any cake sticking to my pans. I'm just gonna ladle this right in there. I think that's the best way to go with this. Oh, those clumps are scaring me. I mean, they look a little bit lumpy, but I'm telling myself that is just the coconut oil and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. So now these will go into the oven for 35 to 45 minutes. I'll check it after 35 and see. Okay, it has been a while, like at least an hour. The sun is now coming in through the window very brightly. But I have taken the cakes out of their cake pans and they've just been cooling because you don't want to frost a cake that is too warm. But they look okay. I'm surprised and very thankful because I was really worried about these. Let's just make our frosting and then frost this thing, and then we can cut into it. Now I'm only doing a half batch of frosting as well because I feel like it's not that much cake to frost. This frosting is from Nora Cooks and it's just a basic buttercream frosting, no shortening needed. I will of course link this recipe down below as well, but essentially all we need is butter, powdered sugar, cocoa powder, vanilla, and a little bit of soy milk. Okay, I feel that I should have stuck to the original recipe and made the full amount of frosting because I don't think this is enough to frost both the middle and the top. But what I'm gonna do is put a little layer of raspberry jam in the middle, and that'll just have to make up for the lack of frosting. I think that's fine. We already have like some nice berries to go on the top. So I think that the raspberry jam in the middle is actually gonna pull it all together, if you will. It does look a little bit dense in this cake in the middle, but let's see how it tastes. Not bad. I see why they call it a fudgy chocolate cake. It's quite fudgy. I like the raspberry in the middle actually. I think that worked out really well. The frosting is good. I thought it was gonna be too chocolatey, but actually it's pretty nice. I think this cake was a success. I am kind of surprised. After all of the disasters that I went through getting this cake baked, it still turned out okay. In fact, I think it turned out really well. My decorating maybe isn't the best, but other than that, I'm happy with this cake. I would serve this at a party. So like I said, this is a really dense, fudgy cake, which is what the title says it is, so I shouldn't be that surprised. But if you're looking for a light, fluffy cake, this definitely isn't it. This is more on the rich, dense side. So as long as that's the cake you're looking for, then I would highly suggest trying this one out. And I'm just really excited that I baked a cake from scratch, and kind of a fancy one at that. I did not know if this was going to work out, but I did want to do something celebratory to celebrate my 1,000 subscribers. Yay! And also thank you guys for that. I mean, I wouldn't be here doing these videos without you guys. 100% this cake is dedicated to you guys. I wish I could share it with all of you. I really appreciate you guys following along with my experimental vegan cooking journey. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And with that, let's eat plants, and I will see you guys next time.